Today I'm here in Adopt Me to show you guys how you can get more doubloons in the summer event. There's a few ways you can get some doubloons, and one of these ways is actually right here. Dolly has a task where we can go do the beach bonfire. It will give us some money, but it will also give us 250 doubloons. And one of my tips is to actually turn into a baby because you will also get that task as well. So let's head off and get some doubloons by doing this task. Every night you will get this task. So if it isn't a campsite night, you will get some extra doubloons, and you can get 500 just by becoming a baby, because you and your pet will get this task too. And you can also sleep on the log and you can get that task done as well. But if we get this task done, I will get 500 extra doubloons, and there is another task just like this too that will also give you doubloons, but it's during the day. So sometimes you can get that task. It's not like the campfire one though. You won't get it as often as the campfire one. Every night you will get this campfire task if it isn't a campsite night. When you do get the band task, all you have to do is go next to the minigame and play one of these instruments to complete this task. But once I completed this, I got 500 extra doubloons. So for an extra, I would recommend becoming a baby. And sometimes you can get the other task, which is this bandstand over here. You can go and do this little task as well, and it will also give you 250. And if you are a baby, it'll give you 500. And if you do have the pet certificate where you can pull out 2 pets, you do have a chance of getting the task for both pets. So if you do, then you get 750, but it's not guaranteed that your other pet will get that task. But that is the nice thing about this update, is that they did add in that extra task so you can get yourself a little more doubloons, which is awesome. I really like that they added that. And the next thing that is going to give you a lot of doubloons, obviously, is the minigame. The treasure defense minigame is going to give the most amount of doubloons every single day. You will get this minigame every single day, and you can get a lot from it. But there is some tips and tricks that I have for you guys. And one of them is actually being in a private server. I think being in a private server is really nice because you only have to worry about a few ships, and if you are in a public server, you do get some extra help, but there is extra pirates to have to worry about. So I do recommend a private server if the server you are in, the public server, is losing their treasure. But for this minigame, all you need to do is grab an item from one of these stashes over here and throw them down the rope to hit the pirates. And I just pressed E. I think you can also click on computer to throw them down. And if you are on an iPad, I think all you have to do is just tap the screen. You just have to get close to the anchor and click the screen to get it down. And I like to work on both of them at the same time. This one's kind of close to the pile, so I kind of like hurry and do this. But to get the most amount of doubloons, you gotta make sure that these pirate crabs aren't going to steal your treasure stash. You have to be very careful that none of them go up the stairs and up to your treasure, because if they do, they will steal it, and then your gold remaining will go down, and the less doubloons that you will get at the end of the game. So as long as you kill these pirates and get rid of their ships, or if they come up and you hit them, you should be good. And I usually am good for most of the round, but towards the end, sometimes they will come up and I do have to kind of switch over and try to kill them. There's another pirate very close. No. Get away from my treasure. Do not take my treasure like this. Get out of here. That's mine. You cannot take it. There's more. Oh no. See, towards the end, it gets a little harder, and you have to kind of like fight them off so they don't get your treasure. But as long as you're paying attention to each one of the boats, you should not have to worry about that. Towards the end though, they do kind of end up popping up here, unless if you can get their ships taken down pretty fast. But it's pretty easy. Right there I didn't lose any gold and I got the max amount of doubloons from the minigame. And if you do lose some of your gold, you will get a little less. So you do have to keep that in mind. You do want to try and keep your gold, and if any of the pirates do get it, you will lose some doubloons. So definitely try to pay attention. If you're having troubles on a private server, then you might want to switch to a public server. And if you're having troubles on a public, you might try a private server to see if you can do it easier. But after the minigame, all you can really do is wait for those extra tasks, like the bandstand and of course the bonfire. And sometimes when you get the what should we do task where your pet asks you what you can do, sometimes you can actually get the bandstand, or you can also get the bonfire task as well, so you can get extra doubloons. So I definitely recommend choosing those tasks when they do show up. So whenever your pet asks what we should do, look out for that task. But it looks like tonight is a campsite night, so sadly we aren't going to get that extra doubloons for tonight, but hopefully the next morning we'll get the other one. Another way you can get doubloons is the AFK area, and I definitely recommend taking advantage of this because it is super useful. All you have to do is stand around and you get some doubloons for doing that, and it is AFK, so you don't have to worry about moving your avatar or anything. It will cycle you in and out of servers, so you can just stand around and collect doubloons. And I recommend using a device so you can get an alt account on. If you have more than one account, you can get even more doubloons, so I recommend having as many devices on the AFK area as you can. You do get 25 doubloons every 15 seconds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it slowly does build up and you do get more and more. In a minute you get about 100, and in an hour you get 6,000. So the more you sit around and the more you wait around, the more you definitely get. Most of my doubloons here are actually from the AFK area. Like when I go to bed, I put myself in the AFK area and just let my account sit there and collect more and more doubloons. So you can get a lot of them by just standing in the AFK area. So whenever you are not playing Roblox or whenever you are going to bed, I recommend putting your avatar in there so you can get some extra. Like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot, but the more time you spend in the AFK area, the more you get, and it is definitely worth your time, especially if you're not going to be doing anything anyways. But most of your doubloons are going to come from the minigame, so I definitely recommend playing as much of the minigame whenever you can, because that is where you're going to get most of them from. Each time you do get 3,000, sometimes even over 3,000 if you don't lose any of your treasure from the minigame. So I definitely recommend playing as much of it as you can, because that is the best way to get doubloons. The AFK area is very useful, but it isn't as fast as actually trying and grinding for them. So I do recommend trying to put like an hour, maybe 2 hours a day, just playing the minigame and grinding on Adopt Me and doing your extra task in there to get extra doubloons. And once you've gotten all the things from the first week, like the hammerhead shark or maybe the seabed creeper, I would recommend still saving up more, because there's going to be lots and lots of other pets coming very soon. So I would definitely recommend still saving up for the next week so you can get these new pets right when they come out, and new accessories and vehicles, anything from the event, since they are going to be adding more and more later on. I hope this video was helpful though. If you guys have any extra tips or tricks, you can leave them down below in the comments. But the two ways of getting them is from the minigame and from those extra tasks. So just watch out for those. And if you're doing both of those things, along with the AFK beach, you should be getting a lot of doubloons. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!